Hello, Yeti Nation.
Hello, Yeti Nation. What up, Beecher?
Oh, living the dream. How'd you make out in that snowstorm?
Nah, we got at my house, not too bad. I got about 4 inches, but at work we got about probably about 15, 16 inches of snow. I was uh I was shoveling and finishing up the shoveling today at work. I didn't like it. But the one nice thing is I'm outside, so I don't mind.
Can't
It was
complain
all
too
good.
bad. What about you,
No,
Tony? How would you make out in the storm?
Not too bad, actually. Kind of windy, so it kind of blew into different areas, and so the shoveling actually wasn't too bad. I don't mind
nice.
shoveling, but yeah, second day wasn't too bad.
Nice. Beecher, do me a favor and let's introduce who we got here with us.
We got
I'll let
Oh, I was gonna say Coach Tony Sorci from the Utica Yetis. Or, I'm sorry, there is no S, no matter how many Yeti. Paul has told me time and time
no
again.
S. No S. Only there can be one Yeti. You can have 1,000 Yeti. Guess what? We're all Yeti,
They're
not
all
Yetis.
Yeti. That's right.
If you want to have an S on the end of your Yetis, you be a Yetis.
Yes.
It's like deers is.
Beers. Tony Sorci, welcome to Yeti Talks. How you doing, Coach?
Hey man, long overdue. Okay?
I've missed you. I've missed you.
Way
You and
long.
Johnny, I've missed.
Hey,
We-
fucking miss you too. Excuse my language, but
You can say it. It's my channel.
all right. There might be some more rough around the edge slip ups, but
It happens.
yeah, no, miss you guys, man. And I wanted to get on here, but I've been so busy, right? So, yeah. Anyway, appreciate the time, man.
Yeah, I mean, you actually
Yeah.
haven't even gotten to see the Yeti trophy yet. I can't wait till the first Yeti home game this year. We're gonna have to do a
Yeah.
little presentation to the team and everybody, and
Sure.
definitely, I'm sure that's the goal coming into this year. So you own a barber shop out there. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, yeah. Aloe Barbershop with the Ithaca Mall, 40 Catherine Wood, up in Lansing, technically. But yeah, if you're a working man, you want reasonable prices, man. We're gonna hook you up with the freshest cuts. So come through to the Aloe Barbershop. I'm Tony, the owner. Obviously, keep you tight, right? Hey, look at you, Shaggy boy. It's all right if you're out in the woods, but show up. Both of you guys need these.
I'm waiting till the
We've been-
first Yeti home game there.
Oh, he's going full Yeti home game. Oh,
Well, hey,
buddy.
check it out. So I got that RV, right? Might even throw a Yeti logo on there on one side, maybe Aloe Barbershop on the other. But either way, we'll be mobile again, right? So
Mobile. Going mobile.
yeah, I'll hook you guys up.
Love it, love it.
Absolutely.
So
That's awesome.
I'm sure now you got to be chomping at the bit for Yeti season. But how did you
Yeah.
feel the season went for you last year?
We improved, right? Learned after the first season I need to spend time with the offense. Kind of gave them a little bit too much credit the first year. I thought they kind of knew what to do. Johnny.
Johnny Lehmann
welcome,
in
Coach.
the house.
Yeah, so he just asked, Johnny, you there?
He might be
Oh,
muted.
we can't hear him.
There he is.
I don't have him muted. He might have himself
Well, so
muted.
here, like, let me just finish.
Oh,
There we go.
there we
I can
go.
hear him now.
There we go.
I'm on board.
Yeah, so Johnny, the question to me was, how did I feel after second season? And I was just about to say, I learned a lot from the first season. And so had to implement it in the second season. And now looking forward to the third season, we got to make those adjustments, right? Just like anybody. But without giving too much information to people out there, I don't like to show on my cards. So, like, you got to pick and choose what you got to ask me because I'm not going to give you everything, right? But
Absolutely.
but
There's some hidden tricks up the sleeves.
like it's a learning process for everybody. Me coming in, assessing talent and trying to, expedite the chemistry within the first year was 6 games and playoffs, and then second year, a couple more games. And so it's got to happen fast. And, just trying to get everybody on the same page is like crucial. So it comes down to like efficient practicing, right? Like time that you have in the locker room together, that matters. So you got to learn from that first season where everybody's just trying to know each other. And then second season, got to maximize what we didn't have the first year and make those changes. So third year is I'm really, really looking forward to it. As you said, yeah, chomp it at the bit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's always been, you know, since year one, we've always been such a cohesive team. You know, locker room to field, you know, great guys tie our team together. Brian, you know, absolutely amazing guy, does so much for us off the field as he does on the field, you know, and you know, having that cohesive team that we found in year one allowed us to build on a lot of other things going into year two. And you know, that's just what we got to be able to do as coaches, as players. We got to continually build off of, you know, every single thing that we grow. You know, it's very important that, you know, the things that we put in place last year trickle over to this season. And, you know, senior leadership needs to step up and make those things known from practice, you know, how we start our practices. And that's got to come up not just from us as coaches or Paul as GM. That's got to come from senior leadership. And I think some of those guys are starting to fall into place, and that's going to be huge going into next year.
Yeah, I mean, you guys hit a bunch of milestones last year. I mean, already in just your second year, so you guys were able to beat the Eels, and you guys ended up being upstate champions. So, I mean, I know, like you guys are talking, there's a lot of things you want to see, a lot of guys you want to step up, but I mean, you guys did have some pretty good accomplishments last year. You guys made it to nationals. I mean, yeah, you might want a better showing there next year, but you guys definitely stepped up from year one to year two.
Absolutely appreciate that. Being like appreciated, we appreciate that appreciation, right? So like it's not for nothing, right? Like it's all because we won a fucking championship, you know. That's like I have high expectations of this team, and yeah, championships, yeah, but well, like if we were to play a Can-Am team, the best, if we were to play the Bucks, would we give them a game? Like I think we, you know, it would be all right. We'd probably get spanked one they'd probably win a 5-game series, but like I think we could hold our own. And I think the goal is to be competitive with Canadian teams. That's where my measuring stick is, right? Like that's the standard for me. And so like just getting, I want a championship. I want to be the best team in America, in North America, not Canada. Or whatever, North America.
I know what you meant. Not just the U.S., yeah.
USA, the lower 48. Alaskans, come mess with us, especially you big dudes, those Yeti out there treasuring the snow. We want you.
That was one thing that they actually did say down in Delaware. Somebody said, they said, man, that Yeti are the Bank City guys, but they say, wow, they got a pretty big team. They seen snow out there. They had Kiefer down there throwing some beef around. You guys had some pretty big boys out for that one.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you hey, bigger the better, man. You know, it's all about space there, you know, and yes, everybody's got a role, even you little guys, man. We value everybody. Everybody's got a value, and they also, you know, everybody's got something to contribute, you know, and you got to celebrate everybody's gifts, you know, and that's why lacrosse is the best. It's the creator's game, and he loves everybody playing it, makes him happy. So, you know, if you just do it in a good way, you know, like yeah, coming back to the question, I want a championship. If we can do that and inspire the next little generation of little laxers, like that's everything, man. Championships are cool, but inspiring that next generation, like, you know, passing that knowledge down, man, forget about it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
So,
and that's something. I mean, you guys have a bunch of guys that never really got to play box growing up or very often that all of a sudden made pro, and I think a lot of credit goes out to you guys. I mean, you saw like Conzola got a chance to go out, and you know, Blaine got a chance to go out. So many guys. Ty Hill finally got his first, you know, pro debut, so long awaited. So many guys.
A lot of the time you got to go to Canada and, like, you know, state your name there before you can get into the NLL. So that's the path I took. I heard that from somebody, you know, a couple people. So I went to Canada, did that. worked hard and ended up there briefly, due to knee problems and injuries, whatever, cut short. But that whole learning process, man, is like a more than a college degree as far as like athletic knowledge and education. So like you want to pass that on to those that are fully capable. Like all of the players on our team, everybody on the team could be in the league, right? It's just like at what role do you play? So my goal is to has always been to grow the game of box lacrosse in the lower 48. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, you guys did a tremendous
internationally or whatever, right? But like giving the people the tools I don't know who's played for who. I don't know how big of a stud you are. All I know is I can see how you run and I can see how you catch and throw. And I'm going to assess you on how you are be able to work with other people to accomplish a single goal. Right? That's how I assess. And so you just have to rearrange the chess pieces. So, it is checkers and chess. It's both. Because I'm going to jump you, but at the same time, I'm setting you up for the next play. Right?
Yeah. Well, one of your best things I ever heard, pressure changes everything. It'll turn you into diamonds. It'll turn you into dust. And yeah, that's just like such a way to think about it, because no matter how good you are, Barry Melrose was my coach when I was a kid, and that's what he always said. He goes, anybody, if you give them all day, can shoot in an open net. I want to know who can put it in that tight hole with somebody on their hands.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But you take away somebody's time and space, you take away their decision making. That's it. Put them in a corner.
Yeah. It's all about them loose balls. So Johnny, what did you kind of got a chance to work with a lot of the defensive guys, and getting to play with, you had Conzola, who had box experience, but other than that, you guys got a lot of new, how many new players do you think have never played box before they started playing with the Yeti team?
Oh gosh, I'd say probably close to more than 3/4 of the team. I mean, a lot of these guys didn't have that box experience. They were field guys coming out to try to, prove themselves in what was a new, exciting thing in Utica, and, gracious enough to Paul to, bring it here and get it going, and, create an opportunity for these guys, especially, we got great guys out there doing awesome things. BD, 40-something years old, and still loves the game with all heart, and then just him an opportunity to go out there, a few times a week to, in front of his fans, family, it's exciting, and to be a part of it, growing, like Tone said, Paul, I'm sure you've heard multiple times, it's all about growing the game in this area and getting people excited. Watching every time we come into the you see more people in the stands. Game gets more exciting, and day in and day out, you can be a part of this game for one day or 100 years, and every single day you grow love for the game, and it's just exciting. It's exciting to see it just mesh out. But as far as our defense goes, we got guys like Brian that have experience, and it just shows that he can make that transition. He was a great player, or is a great player, excuse me. To transition well, you can ask anything of him, and he's a yes coach kind of guy, and that's what makes him one of the best players on the team, in our eyes, and that's why he made the transition to the PBLA. He can produce on both ends. He's one of the best players in the locker room to have on your team, period. But it's our defense is only growing. Every year they're learning more and more, and the faster we get, we're going to get a little younger, we're going to get a little faster, and you're going to see those slides come faster, and we're excited to see what this year has to offer as far as the defense goes.
Yeah. So what are you guys looking for when it comes to coming into tryouts? What are you guys looking to see for the players?
Number one, commitment. If you can't be here for the team, dude, like go somewhere else where you can be uncommitted. You know, I don't. You got to buy in, bro. Literally, figuratively, every way possible. That's what a team is, man. Like, how do you form a family? Well, you do anything for them. Show up for them. Loyalty is everything. For me, loyalty first, man. Family first, loyalty. It's the same thing. It's an interchangeable word. Uh,
Well,
like
that was one thing that was said about the Yeti last year by so many guys when I were as I interviewed them. Is they're like it was different what they had. Like you could see them hanging out before the game. They come out in their nice warm up shirts, and everybody's having a good time and smiling and laughing, and just that different atmosphere, like you had, like you said, the
yeah,
closeness.
yeah. So like when I came in first, I wanted to treat this team like a pro team. I wanted to give the guys respect like they deserve. Right? Paul's done such a great job to line them up. So we just got to knock them down. So to treat people like professionals it goes a long way, and in return you hope that they will buy into what you're selling, and that's to create something special, to do things that other people can't. Um, we're in we should be thankful and grateful every day that we have this opportunity. And just like Johnny said, like, hats off, Paul, dude, you fucking rocked it. Now it's our job to play our roles, and um, it's I need this selfishly. I need to be a part of this squad, right? Not only like I'm glad to help lead it, and it's
medicine, Tony. It's medicine for us.
absolutely we need it. Like it's a deep part of us, like for so many years. So to give back, to trade that knowledge, to find the young talent or the old talent and give them a shot, it's awesome.
That
It's
was
totally awesome.
that was another thing that a bunch of the PBLA players said is that you guys had them pro ready. Like you said, Paul puts on a great show. Can't wait for the Nexus Center, brand new Nexus Center. We're gonna have an amazing opening showing there at Battle on the Barge. But yeah, the whole pro atmosphere, guys coming out through a fog machine, the music, the lights, the coaches. Yeah, you guys really do bring that next level. And Donnie, now like what would you recommend if you guys have some like younger college kids getting ready to go out for the Yeti team for the first time? What would you recommend that they work on going into camp?
Probably first and foremost, hands. It's a different game than field. It's very close. I was a part of the transition on field to box. Luckily I got my feet wet playing a little bit in high school, but none to the extent obviously of Tony. And it's a different game. I mean, very close. Being able to finish on the crease, so having that, when you got that, trust of your teammates that they can fire it in there and put it in the spot, and you're going to catch it and bury it and finish it. That's big. But if you continually are dropping it on the crease or ruining you got X amount of time in the offensive zone. When we have drop passes, it leads to transitions, it leads to turnovers. So you got to have those hands right first and foremost. I mean, some things come, but right now, I mean, speed would be an awesome, addition to our game, some additional speed. But overall, I mean, I think that it's coming. We get with a lot of this off-season stuff. We get to see a lot of local kids step in. We get to see what the future has in store, and it gets you excited. You can just see how fast these kids are getting up and down the field and transitioning, and overall they're not put them right into the offense type person. Let's sit them back and let's let them learn the defense and transition game a little bit before you put them in there. But it's exciting to see these kids come up and do some of the stuff that we see off season. I don't know, Paul, Tony, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I'd say like for young dudes in college, you're gonna be athletic. If you aren't fast now, like just work on it a bit. But that doesn't have to be everything. Like you got to be smart. You got to be tough. If you can't go into the corner and get a loose ball, you knowing 2 or 3 dudes are behind you trying to get it too or bury you, like you got to work on your toughness, your mental toughness. Like box lacrosse isn't for everybody. You got to be willing to go out and buy some, slash guards and take cross checks.
Guys that can help us maintain possession are the guys that we want.
Yeah, yeah. So like
maintain possession.
you gotta, I'd say, embrace the physicality of box. And if you can't do that, then like it might not be for you.
Yeah,
So
those offensive rebounds is such a big and defensive rebounds. Getting those loose balls, being that gritty player.
everything.
You say it so
It's
many
everything.
times. Yeah.
It's everything. Think about it. Come on, I don't have to say it, right? Loose balls equal possessions equal shots equal goals.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right? My buddy wrote a freaking paper on it, and he's like, "Here's the statistics, Tony. Read this." So beep boop beep boop. Not the smartest guy in the world, but if you did the paper and you got a fucking A+ on it, and yeah, it checks out to me. So it's everything. Lucy's are everything, right?
Yeah, that's one thing Owen always makes sure he does for us when he does his show. The loose ball champion of the game is like his key stat that he always brings to it, and that's
Yeah.
it always makes me think of you in that locker room. Loose balls
Yeah.
equal possessions, possessions equal shots, shots are going to equal goals. Boom.
Yeah. Here's the deal. You want to be a big dog in this game, defensively, offensively, protect the house, get the bone. That's it. That's it. Shots prevented, right? And go get the fucking bone. Go get it. You're the alpha, Protect the house first. That's where your family is. That's where your goalie is. You protect the middle, and then on the other side, you take the house and you go get the bone. You still go get the bone, right? So,
Well, and getting back to what's going to make us better is Tony's philosophy, being able to the more athletic kids that we have, defensive wise, the more we can abide by Tony's philosophy of really pushing out, extending out, hard pressure, and then on the opposite side of that, I mean, when you're pushing out hard pressure, extend on one side, we got to be athletic enough to be able to get to that backside pipe. To help out on those slides, being able to shut down those cross crease passes, one timers. And I think that, like you said before, and like we were talking about with transition guys coming from field to box, there is some of the same philosophy, but defensive wise, it's more almost hockey related than it is field lacrosse related. Getting back to a certain spot and knowing how the offense is going to progress and what they're really looking for. Instead of that outside shot, and having that athletic guy that can get in, get out really fast. We can learn you philosophy. We can learn you the game. But if you're willing to learn and listen and abide by what we have to say and stuff like that, I don't want to preach, coach is always right, but in this philosophy, when you're learning the game and we're growing something here, Tony's done great in asserting his word without being that jerk of a coach. Everybody looks up to him and really loves the every word that he says. They soak in, and that's what's helping make us a better team. Is none of these guys are thinking they're better than or above the knowledge that they're receiving on a weekly basis, and it's awesome to watch us grow at that rate. It's huge.
When you talk about the knowledge, though, I mean, so to get the kind of coaching that you're getting from the Yeti organization with Tony and the experience Tony's had coaching all over the place, but you guys also have Neil Paulus, and the way you guys allow him to like help and it all complements each other. I mean, wow, that is something that a lot of teams it might cause some issues, but you guys really like seized on it with it, and you could really see like the offense. And like Blaine is one of my favorites. So to hear that Blaine had never played before and that the first year was the first year as a Yeti, and then the second year to see how far he came just from the having the experience to play with you guys and Neil and the whole system was
Yeah.
just
Well,
so
like,
impressive.
I mean, it just like you got to give people chances, and sometimes like having a set formula before you assess the talent doesn't work out because those people can't fill those roles. They just don't have the skills to. So then you got to adjust, give people time and space, reassess the format. But so the first year was everything because you're learning from that and be like, okay, well, now I know I can see how people move. When you have just so much time to assess for practice and then games in one season, right? I'm going on other people's word about who somebody is. But until I can see you move in time and space with other dudes whacking you or not whacking you, what are you doing? Everybody wants to score a goal, but what are you doing off ball to help your teammates? Right? Like that's what I need to see. I don't need to see like you rip top shelf solo on no goalie. Like that doesn't make sense to me. So the first year is everything. You set the talent, make adjustments. That's why it takes 3 years to turn around any program. That's what they say. I wanted to do it in a year. It didn't happen. 2 years, came close. Year 3, baby.
Got to better ourselves.
Yeah.
And
with all that to be, hey, with Greg and you guys, you want to know, from my perspective, sitting back and listening to it and watching it and seeing it grow, and I couldn't have when me and Tony first spoke and everything, I really didn't know shit for box lacrosse, anything about it, and Tony contacted me and everything, and my thought process to say that how Tony your style, I couldn't have found another person that fits the mold of what I wanted. That is the style. How could you not want to play that style? How could you not want to be that athlete, to be dominant on defensive transition and being able to pull it out? That's what it's all about. Protecting the house. If you can't protect the house, the rest of the is pocky, is pookie, is whatever it is. But it's infectious.
Well,
That style is so
Yeah.
infectious.
You're seeing it right now in the NLL too, though. Is that's what wins you the championship. So you're seeing the guys that have the defense to step up to make that extra save or two. You're getting to 1-2 goal games, and is your defense given to are they giving your goalie the best opportunity to make the save, to see the shot, to
Yeah.
Yo, just like Johnny said, we need to get younger, man. Unless you don't want to get younger, you got to work harder, because being in the right position is half the battle. That's it. Get there, do your job, get there, be in the right position, and you've done your job. Basically, you don't have to take the ball, but you do have to apply pressure. Now, not everybody can do that. Not everybody can go out there every shift and leave it on the floor. They're thinking too much. They don't want to get beat. Their pride is this, that. They want a fast break. They don't want to cross check. You have to check off all these things to play defense for me. Because a good defense, come on, man. That's everything. Like, it's everything. Just because I don't have the ball, you have the ball, and you're shooting on my goalie does not give you an advantage. My 5 guys against your 5 goals, but guess what? I got a goalie. So that makes it 6-on-5. Plus, I got the half court that you can't go back. So now I got 7 dudes against your 5. Just because you have a ball? No. Defensive everything. It's a mentality. Just because it's called defense doesn't mean you can't attack those mother fathers, right? Take their candy. You have an advantage. It's a perspective.
And I think that we as a Yeti organization have been lucky in the fact that, we got to start our program with guys like, Neil, other guys that you've had on your
Jimmy
show.
Fay. Talk about Jimmy Fay. Absolutely.
Rodney
Red
Eye. Kobe Johnson.
Colby.
Some
Casey Swamp.
great,
Yeah.
Dwighty.
Dwight Bureau, some great players that, just got to be a part of that initial year to really kick us off in the right direction. That still, we even all came together great as an organization, and a great group of guys. And it was a great group of talent that really kicked us off and started us off in the right direction. And we gotta, it's up to us. Like Tony said, we gotta get younger. From there, we have something that we started, that we built. And no offense to those guys, but some of them have decided to move on, and we're stepping up, and it's up to us to get younger, stronger, faster. And I think that we're doing that pretty well. I think that this off season is showing us what Utica and the surrounding area has to offer. And not only that, but I hear rumors of other guys throughout the PBLA that say, I want to be a Utica Yeti. What's it going to take to be a Yeti? And that kind of buzz coming from guys throughout the PBLA gets me excited to know that the future of the Yeti is here. I mean, we're going to be an organization to come, and whether I'm here or not, if I see this organization still kicking 15, 20, 25, 30 years down the line, that's my ultimate goal. That's something that I can sit back and just, all right, this is awesome. This is something that, I know what kind of sweat, blood, tears Paul and Tony and other guys have put into building this. And these kids are coming out, and it's getting me so excited to see the future of the Yeti.
Yeah, no, I've heard we might get a few extra guys. Paul's, made sure that we've got all the media coverage, and I tell you, the Nexus Center, the way they've got it set up for us in there, I'm going to walk in, I'm going to plug my computer in, everything else is all set. It's all wired, it's all good to go. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. The shorts and the video.
Yeah, they're working on the lights right now to get them odd style, so that's going to be pretty sweet. I'm excited.
Who wouldn't want to be a Yeti in that? I mean,
yeah.
Come on.
Hey, like I said, right? Like, it's awesome. Championships are awesome. Growing the game's awesome. But like, that place is set up for the next generation of young athletes.
Absolutely.
Right? Young boys, young girls growing up to be young men and young women, and that's learning how to play at an early age and to be a good teammate and sportsman. That's going to carry you on throughout the rest of your life. Right. Yeah. Hopefully one day some of them can Yeti, are good representations of the area that they come from. But the Nexus Center is for the next generation. Right. And so, it's awesome that we saw the seeds planted. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Well, and the cool thing that you see is, we're the Utica Yeti, but we have guys from Binghamton and Buffalo and, up north and
Schenectady and Albany.
We're literally from all
Florida.
over the place.
Florida.
Yeah, and Florida. And the best part about it, and I hate saying it in this regard, but we've already had a couple losses as a family where we've had to support one another in different reasons. And it just absolutely gets you when you see, all these guys coming throughout the entire state, out of state, coming together to support each other during these different occasions, so you really see how much of a family we have really become. As Yeti past and present, with some of the present guys standing out even more than some of the past guys. Mario Diaz does so much for this team. It's ridiculous.
And how about Mario getting a chance to try out for Team Mexico here pretty soon?
And nobody deserves it more so. I mean, absolutely. The kid is, you've seen him. He's had days where he's an absolute brick wall. But learning the game. And he's trying to pick it up really fast, and he's doing a good job. And more so, he is there for his teammates more than anyone I've seen. So just an overall great guy, excellent guy, another great guy to have in the locker room. I keep saying that on every person we bring up.
That's kind of what makes up the Yeti, though, is great locker room guys. And everybody says that about everybody, but especially Mario Diaz, you do hear all the time. He is the world's best teammate. I think every guy I've ever interviewed from the Yeti goes out of their way to say Mario Diaz is the world's best teammate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Until Wario comes out, then you want nothing to do with him. Like, hey. All right, Wario. All right.
Oh, I love it. Well, we are going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Thanks, everybody.
Great fittings for all your underground utility, plumbing, HVAC, cements, solvents, irrigation, valve boxes.
My happy.
All your plumbing needs. Plumbing, irrigation, HVAC.
Fay Farms. Fay Farms, where the beef's at. Believe in 271. Nobody fights alone. You got a sweet tooth? Contact Nora's Candy. Black River Ale House. Go where the Romans go. Do what the Romans do. When in Rome, go to the Black River Ale House. Rome Sign and Display Company. Contact Terry down at Rome Sign. Nice Scoba, the men and women in blue. Thank you for what you do. George Kaler, Sales and Service. B-Dry Systems. Basements are wet? Contact B-Dry. Contact Russ down at Family Landscaping. Spring is near. Deming Lakeside Trailer Park. Eric Kiefer, LUTCF. Friend of the Yeti. Tri-City Lacrosse. MEM Photography. Mark Murphy. You need the shot? Contact Mark. Bag Square Brewing Company. A authentic German brewery with authentic German food. Stop down to Bag Square when you're in downtown Utica. Robert Dix Insurance Agency. Contact Bobby Dix for all your insurance needs. Clinton Tractor and Implement Company. CBI Cables. Plug in what the pros use. CBI Cables. Plug them in. Crafty Beach for all your personalized merchandise.
And we're back. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. And please support the sponsors any chance you get. Our local sponsors are what make this Yeti show possible and allows all the Utica Yeti to have the very professional experience. And for everybody watching, I know we've got a couple guys that watch the show now that have never actually seen the Yetis, and we're growing a little bit here. Yeah, they will have great games all season. Some of the best box lacrosse in the country being played anywhere.
Good stuff. Good stuff, Yeti Nation. It's good stuff. I'm loving
Look
it.
at that number one spot.
Number one spot.
Now, what did you guys, so you made it to nationals. What did you guys think about that national competition? I mean, I was pretty surprised. I thought for sure, I was absolutely amazed at some of the talent out there. I think like that main team, young and fast, and that Westminster team, and went and filmed them down in Delaware. They are still flying. I don't think they've slowed down a bit.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to see, because we don't really get film on other people, right? So just coming to watch is big, and so like I said, trying to assess talent in a short amount of time is that's why I like being a scout is it's tough, right? Like that's a hard job to be like, this kid's got it or this kid's got it, but you can clearly see who the impact players are, right? And so those are the guys that you want to shut down because everything runs through them. So that means you got to put pressure on the other players to win games. The main team, I coached a lot of those boys, and I think probably some of those philosophies might have trickled down to, I'm not taking credit for that, but there's
that's what I was going to ask you about. You coached the Voyagers, which essentially a lot of those guys are with the main Northman team. Is that correct?
Sure. Yeah. Like Doobie and, Bakes. They got some other guys that play for him, I think, during the season that I didn't see during the Nationals, but still, who knows what they take from me, what I did and coached for them, and then brought to the younger players. I have no idea. I wasn't there, but it's an honor to have coached people that have continued to grow the game. And those are you can tell right away the people that are going to carry it on.
Yeah, Kyle Baker and the Northmen, they do a ton of stuff out there as well. They're big into it.
Yeah.
Duncan, Dubé, that whole group out there, O'Gorman, they got a bunch of savages out there. It's
absolutely
going to be a tough go around in nationals. If
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, hats go off to all of them. Anybody that's playing box lacrosse in the lower 48, hats off to, because it's not for everybody, right? You're a different type of person. You have that warrior mentality that we all look for, or I look for. So like, it's not for everybody, and like that's why it's so awesome to watch, because like fans envy what we do or what we did or what they do, right? So to get your kid to buy into box lacrosse, man, you're breeding a warrior. You know what I mean? Like that's the mentality you have to have. No, it's not for everybody.
Speaking of which, we got to see some of the Baby Yeti or the Tri-City guys. I got to go and I filmed some of their box lacrosse, and I tell you, to watch the kids and how fast that game is, and to see the little kids that they had, the younger group that was out there, I tell you, in about 5-6 years, that Yeti team is going to have so much talent. You guys are going to hopefully have a problem just kind of keeping the roster to a reasonable size.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The goal.
That's the goal. Yeah.
To say that Masters, cradle to grave. How cool would that be? Cradle. I know with Tri-City, we try to say cradle to grave. That's
Sure.
We're looking for Masters probably to sign up for the Battle on the Barge as well. So anybody who may be interested, doesn't have a team for the Masters, reach out to Paul, Tony. We'll get we got to get that Masters. I tell you, this time though, we got to make sure we get it filmed. I'll have to bring a camera out there to do it at the Tri-City.
Well, that's
box,
why we have professionals now. We have professionals.
Is there a name being thrown around or no for that team?
For the Mall Walkers, for what? Well, we got the Mall Walkers. The Mall Walkers is a hot team. For a bunch of old guys.
If anybody would like to sponsor it, I mean, we could always have the Team Aloe.
No.
Rejuvenate. Soothing.
Bad for the band.
I don't know. Nothing is as funny as watching Bob try to run and hold his shorts up.
I've always liked the name Rusty Buckets.
Ooh,
Rusty Buckets. Oh yeah,
it's a good one.
Yeah, the Rusty Buckets. We got to play the Rusty Buckets next. Oh fuck, shit.
It's gonna make you think twice.
I'm either gonna get a W or Hep C.
Definitely.
Grab a 12-pack. Grab a 12-pack.
Now, I don't know if you guys have been watching any of the NLL too much, but like when I watched this, that Georgia team is finally coming along, and Rochester, wow, Hartley.
That was a great game.
Yeah,
that was the one that I watched, and I tell you one thing, Hartley ain't no joke. The kid that came from Albany last year, what the heck's his name? Albany traded him up to Rochester. He's their main dog now.
Q.
No, not that one.
I was gonna say Q scored 3 more. He's scored more goals, I think, so far in the last 3 games than he scored, but all year for Albany. But no, Shane Jackson's been on fire for them. He had 5 goals. Lyle with a hat trick and 7 assists. He played.
What's his name for Rochester? Went 5-5. Kelton, was it Keller?
Connor Fields.
Connor Fields.
He came from Buffalo. He came from Buffalo.
That's
not Albany.
I think
Albany,
he's from Rochester, right? Though, isn't he from Rochester?
No, he's from Buffalo. He was a stick boy, they said, for the Bandits for a long time, and then when they,
you can't ignore what the Bandits are doing right now. I mean, look at Dane Smith. I mean, he's still out there crushing it.
Dane Smith is killing it, and I tell you what, Byrne for them.
Back. Burns back.
Yeah, and he was
22,
and he was a part of all of their last the last 4 goals in that game. Josh Byrne either scored or had an assist on. He is on fire, and I tell you,
he's legit.
Halifax, I thought, was coming back. Like, you're looking at that game going, okay, third quarter, Halifax is on the move. Buffalo didn't get a good start. We might have a game here, but I don't know. That Buffalo offense is just so potent. Everybody it's that next guy up mentality. Like, this game it was Cloutier goes off for 4 goals, and Dane Smith still plays. Like Dane Smith and Josh Byrne. It's just crazy the production they get out of everybody from there, and then Matty Vince. Being Matty Vince, 48 saves, and you're not just talking 48 saves. You're talking 48 saves on the Halifax Thunderbirds, who's one of the better offenses, I think, in the league. They've definitely got some of the best offensive talent.
48 saves is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
But
It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's insane. And like I said, you get burned, starts them right off in the second quarter. They obviously Buffalo needs to. Well, I mean, obviously they don't need to listen to me, but they keep taking a quarter off a game or sometimes 2 quarters off a game, and they have been struggling for spurts here and there. But
I'm still thinking about the 48 on net shots that
yeah,
Halifax had, and how many probably missed the goal and whatever. But still, are you kidding me? Like, my goal is to have 60 shots per game, and these guys got 48 on net. Forget about it. That's ridiculous. Like, that says a lot more about the Thunderbirds losing,
yeah,
right? Like, they're not hitting their spots or something's there. I didn't watch the game, but from what it's telling me, that's
yeah,
ridiculous. And they you got to kind of watch out for their offense too. Holy.
yeah. I mean, they're it was crazy.
The Halifax can't rest either. I mean, they're going into they have the Rock coming up. I mean, so Rock is another team right now that's absolutely crushing it. I mean, coming off of a big win.
They just beat. I mean, not that beating Albany right
not
now
that
is
big, but we love. I support Albany, so anybody that beats us is a good team. But
I mean, I'm as big of a Albany fan as you're gonna get, and I gotta say, when that game, like the first half of that game, I'm watching it and I'm like, yeah, and then the third quarter, it's still like, yeah. I mean, we're going into the fourth quarter. What was it, 6-8, I think? And you're like, all right, we're close. And then the fourth quarter happened, and it was like, Albany offense. What? You guys just decided to take the rest of the
done.
Yeah,
done. But I mean, it's still nice to see, when guys like Nanico can just take a hold of the offense.
You know who else is like super impressive right now is Benesh coming back, dude. He's like
Benesh has had a great year. Yeah, he is a huge part of that Halifax team.
He's man, when he was I would play briefly with him in Buffalo, and he tore his ACL, I think it was way back now. But to see him still playing and play at a high level, dude, like just watching him, and that's just the man. Super underrated, I think. But man, what a stud. He's playing at a high level right now.
No, Benesh has been playing great. He's another one of those. He's something happens when they go to Albany. They couldn't score any goals. Benesh, Resetaris had a bunch of goals, so you can't say that about him. But Q and Riley O'Connor, and when they traded them all away, they all of a sudden now have all been, tearing it up again. Benesh he's looked way younger. I think he's been just a man possessed out there. Like you said, they call him, Suitcase Benny because he's been all over the league. But there's a reason. It's because every team wants that guy because he makes your offense better. Yeah.
Dude, I saw him shoot. He's a lefty, right? He's a lefty. Correct?
I think so, yeah.
I think he's a lefty. Or maybe he's a right. No, maybe he's a righty. I can't remember. Anyway, I saw him shoot the nastiest shot and score on Mikey T. And he did it twice. He wound up, shot it low behind his back, fucking 70 miles an hour plus, on net twice in the same spot. I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And then we got Josh in the comments there. That Rochester, Georgia game. So that was the thing is watching that too, is it looked like Rochester was going to run away with it. But Georgia and Lyle and like that offense. Wow. I tell you, I was surprised. I thought the Rochester defense would have played better or been able to shut them down more. But, I mean, Hartley still had to look good in those games.
48 saves. He had 48 saves as well.
Yeah.
I mean, goalie play is... what's killing Albany?
What can he ask for?
Yeah, Dougie played decent, better than he has been. Yeah. At least he's finally coming back on. But no, like you said, you need that goalie. And that Dobson, I think, has been a huge part of what happened to Georgia. Everybody's like, why isn't Georgia playing good? Oh, wait, they lost a guy called Mike Poulin. I don't know, if he's ever won a couple games for him. But you lose a legend like Poulin, it's kind of hard to bounce back.
I'm curious to see how many of these 48 shots are breakaways and how many of these are 5-on-5, goals within 15 seconds. I'd like to see how many of these goals are, within the 25-second mark or whatever, because I just don't think that these defenses are pressuring enough. Every game I watch, I'm like, go take the ball. What are you doing letting them run around?
They
They were definitely they were pressuring out. It was down to the final seconds when they was getting the shots off. They, as far as it was a good game to watch, real good game.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah, Poulon retired. OJ in the comments said, "Where did Mike Poulon go?" He retired at the end of last year, and that's, I believe, the big downfall. Because, like, when you look at Georgia, 61 shots. Yeah, they were pressuring, but I mean, still, 61 shots. That's a shot a minute. That's just,
Got to hit that 60 shot mark, right, Tone?
Right. At least.
At least. That's yeah. But
and
I mean,
to get them on net or in the net is the goal, right?
yeah.
Yeah, right. Get them in. Got to stick them. How about that? What happened to Philadelphia?
Yeah,
Holy
Philly
goodness
was on a
gracious.
tear, and it's been looking like Philly was doing good.
Nothing.
And then all of a sudden they dropped one.
Yeah, dropped
a
one is
deuce.
I tell you, and against that New York team, and there's so much parity in this league because really any team can beat anybody on any given night. Like when you look at, look at what Vancouver just did to Vegas. I mean, Vancouver was the laughing
5
stock,
goals.
and then all of a sudden they get Sean Evans, and wow, what a like piece he has been for that team. He's got the chemistry flying. He's got those guys playing with a bit of pride again, a little chip on their shoulder, that let's go mentality. He tussles. I love it. He's like the smallest guy out there, but he wants to fight everybody like on the other team. He's just amazing.
Gets into their grill, right into their grill.
Brings me back to old days, man. Like every time you guys bring up a name, I'm like, shit, I remember that time when I got beat by that fucking guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that
oh man, dude, playoffs. Oh man, what year was that? 07, I think it was.
Yeah.
They knew my game. I slid hard and early, hard as hell. And last possession of the game, tied up. I don't even know if we're in OT or not. Man, I backed off. I was the low slide. They moved it over. They baited me to slide on the near side with the pick and roll. Didn't give it. Faked like they were gonna throw it. I slid. Bumped it over to Sean. I tried to recover and eat the shot. He bounced it up top left corner on Mikey T. Game over. Fucking brutal. Sean Evans. But yeah. Great player.
The thing that I like though about this league really shows that you can have that big name player on your team. Look at Riptide with Teat. You can have these big name guys on your team, and unless you come together as a team, it really goes to show you that you're really going nowhere. I mean, with the Riptide sitting at 3-9, you can have all the offensive weapons in the world you want, and not only that, but Teat's leading scorer in the league, leading points in the league, and you're going where with that record? It's like congratulations.
It's carrying the team, right?
It
takes everybody. Yeah, for sure.
But unless you're coming together, if the defense if you're melding and the defense is there and the offense can build off of that and they know that, it's just that's the best part about this. And from one year to the next with trades and things moving, parts moving, it's I think you're really going to start to see, like you said, that's exciting to see these 1-goal games, these OT games. And I think that the league's it's starting to become that, it's
definitely evolving, and the younger guys are starting to show I think the veteran like Sean Evans, like Banesh, like these old veterans are like huge additions to programs. Like it goes a long way, right? And so like that's what you need in the locker room. A lot of NFL teams do it, a lot of NBA teams do it, like but they still have value, right? So like age doesn't really matter. They still have something to contribute.
It's really, like you said so many times, it's getting everybody to buy into that team mentality. So you look at the teams that are doing good, like Calgary, struggled a little bit at the beginning, but then like the way they transition and they know where each other are on the floor and they believe in each other and the next guy's going to step up and they stick up for each other. And you've started to see those teams are the ones that are starting to surge. And then you see the teams that really rely heavily on like this guy or that guy. not doing so well. I mean, like
Yeah.
Saskatchewan, if Mark Matthews doesn't score, 5 or 6 goals, or Church doesn't get 6 goals, it's like, okay, the Rush weren't able to do it because they just don't kind of have everybody else. Like San Diego.
Absolutely.
San Diego is amazing. You've got Dobie and everybody there, but when their goalie plays down, it's like it doesn't matter how great your offense is.
Well,
That's been happening too
always the
much for
case,
them
though.
lately, but
That's
Yeah.
why, like, if your goalie's playing down, like, fucking sub your goalie, right? Like,
They've tried. They're struggling with both goalies.
Yeah.
They've gone
Yeah.
back and forth.
yeah. I mean, it's the hardest position to play,
Yeah.
right? And,
That's why
goalies get
legends.
hot. Goalies get hot. They get cold. They get, they're their own worst enemy. Sometimes they get in their head. They forget their style or stance, their angles.
Yeah,
So,
Dylan Ward. He's last year. He plays amazing. They get to the championship. This year, every game he struggled. You see it, and yeah, like the last game with 30 shots with the Higgins played amazing for the Wings, but their offense only got 30 shots. And then you see against New York, it's like, oh, okay. See, that's the thing is, yeah, they might wait. They make that extra pass. They always kind of get a little too cute instead of trying to shoot the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. They're humans too. People make mistakes, right? Who knows what's going on in people's lives and stuff like that. Like every season is like is a whole different dynamic. You're trying to add the chemistry and make it work. Right? Like it could be the smallest things. I'm super superstitious. Super superstitious, right? So some of these guys, might get in their head or they might be doing something different and they're trying to change that. And
I
that
love the
doesn't-
goalie charms. Like the goalies have the most like rituals ever. Like Dougie, he steps at the top of the crease, then he's got to touch each post. It's always like with the right foot on the. Yeah, you guys, it's a very unique breed. And Kiefer in the chat says he can't wait to put Tony in the net. He says he's going to be a stone wall. He's pulling for you.
I've never played goalie in my life, but I'd rather hit somebody,
Yeah, I that's the thing about goalie. Like, I think your natural reaction when you're about to get hit in the face with the ball is to close your eyes. And these crazy bastards put their head in the way of it. You'll see them like, yeah, no, not for me.
No, I played. That was the thing about my defense. Like, I would eat shots without the goalie pads. Like, people were like, "What is that doing?" But I'd rather eat the shot, be in the right position, than have my goalie take one. So that's how I played, and probably still do.
Oh, yeah. Now in the chats, we got Josh saying that Albany's big problem is they play like 5 strangers, and that is a huge thing. They keep changing offensive pieces. They've had some injuries. They've had a lot of rotation up front. We just brought in Marshall Paulus, who I think is going to be a great fit for it's a field-heavy team, and Marshall may not have had the best he doesn't necessarily always get the finish, but as far as his vision and the way I think he's going to lead that young Albany team as far as being able to get some of those field players to become better box players, I think that's going to be a huge addition for Albany. I see it definitely being a big win.
Now, do all these guys, do they have multi-year or are they all year to year?
I think so they're not all year to year because Dougie's contract's running up this year. That's why everybody's talking about maybe Dougie's going to be on the road, and there's a lot of so I think there's multi-years, but I tell you, there's going to be a lot of players for Albany coming up. Brett Manning, their captains, they're going to be struggling.
Right. Yeah, Albany definitely, no disrespect. I don't know the guy from a bag of beans, but he can't stop the outside shot. That's what as the defense. That's what my goal is to make you shoot from the outside. My goalie's got to be able to stop that outside shot. And
well, that's what you see all these. But like Matty Vince, that's what makes him so valuable. The defense puts pressure on. They keep the shots to the outside. There will be the occasional guy gets by and Matty Vince is there. But that's why he gets 50 saves a game is the defense doesn't give up great shots, You force them to shoot, so they're shooting often from the outside. There's pressure. I think that, if you look at Buffalo's goals for, goals against, I'll look at it after we're done with the transaction page. But that's got to be huge. I mean, that is so big as you look at these teams through the league is, you might get like Toronto had that one blowout win and that kind of distorts what's your goals for. But that goals against is what you want to see for championship teams, because how long do you have possession of the ball? Because they can't score if your team is on offense the whole time. Are you getting offensive rebounds? There's a lot that goes.
A team that can't score can't win.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm playing chess with you and you never take any of my pieces, how are you ever going to win? You can't, because I'm taking all your pieces. I'm putting the pressure on you. Right.
Yeah.
A team that can't score can't win.
And that's been Albany's problem.
It always comes down to goals prevented, right? Like, it's defense. It's all about the defense. Because if you play physical, get the loosies, then the offense is going to take care of itself. You put 60 shots on net or plus, you have a high percentage to win. I mean, it's and then you minimize their chances. Like, put the pressure on them. Low angle shots, nothing in the middle. Should be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and like you said, you see, Buffalo 124 goals against. In the East, other than Toronto's got 116, and when Nick Rose is playing hot, that is a huge factor for them. I mean, it really comes down to D and goalie.
All right.
But my favorite is still, like, when you look at Calgary, that 117 and 148, I think Calgary is going to be the team that ends up coming out of the West. Del Bianco is on a tear.
Yeah, he was very good the other night too. I watched a little of that game.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, the big thing is, like, Tony talks about your D starting your offense, like you've already got the guy going up the floor. And that is one thing that Calgary, you either have to bail out of your offense early, or your offensive player, somebody's getting stuck out of the floor, because that's the only way to really beat them with the transition. And Las Vegas did it really well. They were very good about making sure they left a guy high and kind of having like a safety valve, and that kind of took care of the problem. But you could see it in their offensive capabilities, because not having that extra player in, they give up a lot of those offensive loosies.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of time in the penalty box too. I mean, Vegas has got that issue as well. I mean, when you're playing man down, you can't really put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
We as Yeti see that issue last year a few times, and
we got a little better.
We did get better about it, when you start realizing that. But you spend a lot of time in the penalty box, you're not going to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. It's one hand washing the other. So you got to be smart and take penalties at the right time. And if there is a right time in the game, and it's work hard to play the game the athletic way. So.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Crazy enjoyable. That's for damn sure.
It's awesome. I love seeing that it grow. The fact that Vegas is in the league now is just awesome. It's watching the game get bigger and bigger.
How about that? We got a big 315er. Come on, Paul.
YouTube.
I think it disconnected, but I'm trying to get it reconnected right now.
Okay.
So it might pop back up. It says we're going again, I think.
Okay. Well,
so
as far as
in about
NABLL,
20 seconds, we might. If we'll see it pop back up here in about 20 seconds, but it says we reconnected.
Okay.
It says I've got an excellent connection, but I don't see.
A very good connection.
Oh, I see Tony bobbing around and moving. Yeah, so I think we're back.
Still moving. Okay, we're back.
Yep, we are back on. Kiefer just texted me we're good. Woo!
As far as talking NABLL, the expansion in that league, the league that we play in is only getting bigger as well. I believe they're talking that potentially up to 9 more teams this year. They have a couple more leagues that are interested in getting in. The hard part about it is, the year-end celebration, making the national tournament is going to be pretty awesome. But, the East Coast is definitely a spoiled coast because of where the traditional hotbed is, are we going to be able to travel if they say, hey, we're going out west this year?
It depends on how far. I mean, the nice thing about Ohio was it was about 10, 12 hours for everybody, whether you took a 12-hour flight or a 10, 12-hour drive.
But to be fair to the entire league, do you expand? It's tough. Don't get me wrong, but maybe that's something that we need to be prepared for as teams for travel. who's to say? You never know that maybe it goes to. They just had an outdoor game.
San Diego,
in
that
San
was
Diego,
impressive.
but yeah.
But
Who's to say they're not looking at something like that?
well, I mean, the
that could be
nice thing I
something.
will say about Utica though is we have a indoor box, a couple of them. Plus, you've got an outdoor box in Tri-City right by. So, I mean, you really could solve all of those problems. And I know we could do a really good deal on the streaming there. I happen to know the guy
There's no question.
who's going to do it. So, if we end up there, so we could probably work that
Hey,
out.
Oh, when we
But
had
it
that
is
outdoor
growing.
box set up, I don't think we could have asked for anything better. The weather was absolutely amazing, and that whole weekend was just, we lucked out hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
Mother
was
Nature.
from-
Mother Nature was very kind. Laxney, it was awesome.
It really was, and it's easy to see a future there for events like that,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially like, you get a couple more vendors there and, just, man, that was awesome. That was
And that was only 2 fields.
Right.
That was 2 fields in construction going on.
Wait till
There was no
Laxney.
room.
Yeah, wait till
Oh,
Laxney this
It's
year.
going to be a whole beautiful
Multiple rinks
scenario
inside.
coming here.
Everything's going to
Yeah.
be streaming, I believe. If not streaming, they'll definitely be uploaded at some point later. But yeah, Laxney is only going to get. Yeah, I see it getting better and better. Hopefully, maybe that Lacrosse All Stars will be back involved again this year too. Maybe we can do one rink and they'll do the other. I don't know how they'll set that up if they're going to be, but I don't know.
Right.
Everything that's going on out there is super impressive. But we have been on for over an hour. I wonder if that's why YouTube kicked us off at the hour mark.
probably.
Yeah, well, that's. Did I
We
not
got
tell
a
you
lot,
guys
we
it
got a lot
flies
going
by?
on.
It flies
it
by.
flies
This happens
by.
every time. All of a sudden, I look at it and I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" It's
Well, I didn't know we had an hour.
we can keep going. It really doesn't matter. I mean, me and Owen were going to film tonight, but he told me he's got tomorrow off. So I mean, especially if we're talking box lacrosse, that's the thing. I can't believe anybody watches. We love this, just being able to sit here and talk. YouTube said we were too cool for more than an hour.
Well, how many? Because I'm just curious on stats wise. Do we have some people watching tonight?
Yeah, we've
I
had
don't.
we've had a consistent like 6-7 people in there. We've had Owen, Josh, and Kiefer in the comments. You've been in the comments a couple times because I'll type on my keyboard, then I'll realize, I just commented as the Yeti. So then I grab my phone and comment as Blue Squatch Production. So
Gotcha. Well, as far as I shout out, we got to do a quick couple shout outs before anything, Beecher.
all right.
I'm definitely going to give I got to give a shout out for April 2nd up in Thousand Islands. They're having their spectacular, and I know myself and a couple guys that are definitely planning on going up to show the NABLL and the spirit some Yeti love and get a scrimmage in up there, and then Bang City's happen. Go on.
I will be up there for April 2nd, as far as I know. I'm like 90% sure I'm going to be streaming it. Probably closer to 100% sure. But we might do because he was talking about doing some of his other games, not live streaming, but doing a like upload later. But before we go out to the next shout out, we got to get to the comments. We've got a question from Bang City. Tony, what's your goal for this season? Speaking for the fans and the players. Same with Paul and John. So we'd like to hear from each of you.
Championship, that's it. That's the only goal right now. As a team, I always have the dudes make goals at the beginning of the year, personal and team goals, and I know that every one of them should have a championship on those cards that I give out. So that's the only thing I'm certain of right now. Attaining each player's goals, it's another goal of mine. I want you guys all to do well, succeed on the field, off the field. Believe in yourself when nobody else will, right? That's like Sasquatch, right? Yeti, like we're legends, dude. So like just continue every day, like it's your last. Like I just feel like go do what you want to do because tomorrow's not guaranteed. Go for a championship, be winners. If I can help you guys attain your goals, then I've succeeded as a coach. Win or loss, right? Like doesn't matter. But like to not like box lacrosse players and to lead a bunch of box lacrosse players and to try to attain one goal. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm already winning, right? Like
that feeling you get when Leota scored that freaking goal with 0.7 seconds left and he just turns to the bench and everybody's like jacked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost a half field goal.
Yeah, it was nuts. And just, I get what you're saying though, that emotion of just get out there and do it, because that's how you create those moments that guys see. All right, Paul, what about you for your goals for the year? Fans and players.
Fans and players. I mean, as far as the fans wise, look at what we got. We got the Nexus Center. I'm very elated, very excited to put together a whole new display of what the Nexus Center is going to offer fan wise. You know, with the Utica Lounge there. You know, whole different
Plus,
arena.
everybody's you're close in, you're closer.
Well, that's what I'm
yeah.
getting to that with the my goal wise. I would love to see 500 to 1,000 people in there. I think it's obtainable. I think the product that we have is well worth the small admission that is there, and I'm excited to see player wise the new guys. You know, as a general manager, the people that I've met over the course of the 2 years have been have juiced me back up to a point where the excitement, the love, the passion. I can't wait to meet the new guys that bring something different. You know, I know, you know, we're going to have some turnover. We already know we got turnover, so that's what I'm looking forward to. But as Tony had said, I got one thing in my mind, and I want a championship. I want us to feel it together in regards to what that accomplishment does feel like. I know people that have done it. I've never done it. I want to feel it, and that's what I'm turning my. I got two of the greatest coaches in my book on my bench. That's how I'm rolling.
Absolutely. All right, Johnny, you're up.
Well, I mean, I think you got the mantra as far as the team goal goes. I mean, we're here for a reason. You know, me and the two guys that are staring back at me right now, you know, we're here. We're here to win a championship. That's what our focus is. We love this game. We love winning. And we love creating something that's it's not only here, but we're here as champions. To win and beat Salt City last year, and take over our championship for this area, and bring that home. That was some of the best feelings that we had on the year. And we need to continue that next year. We're here to better ourselves year in and year out.
I feel like I should have enjoyed us beating the Eels more than I did, but I realized just right now that I think we could have beat them the first year.
Agreed.
We were there. There.
So that's why and I'm just realizing it, that I when we won this past summer, I already knew in my heart that we should have beat them the summer before. You know what I mean? So I didn't fully enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm just realizing it right now. So that was a cool little thing to experience.
And I think secondary to that, I really enjoy seeing guys getting the potential to move on to the next level. Watching guys like Chris Ryan, and Blaine and some other guys be able to showcase their talents at potentially the next level. It's exciting to see them get excited about their growth of their game. And to know that, maybe we were a spot filler for a little bit, but we helped them, whether it was mentally, whether it was physically, whether it was learning different aspects of the game. We helped put our hands in that and create them to get to the next step. Maybe it was somebody that we knew in the organization that helped move them to that next step. But overall, the Yeti was what helped get them to that point. And when we start being known as an outlet like that too, you're going to see that, Yetis are going to be sought after from guys from all over the state area. They're going to want to be a part of the organization because they know we can help them get to that next level. And it's going to go higher from there. I can't wait till we put the next guy in the NLL. We're going to put somebody there. And it's going to happen, whether they're going to be a part of the organization and they're going to get there. And I can't wait for that day.
Amen. Amen. Andrew Davey. That's the one person that we haven't spoken of at all. Andrew
100%.
Davey.
A guy that you don't talk about is usually doing his job. You know? So
I mean,
it's awesome, man. Like, yeah, those
you
guys that
can-
blend in and do what they need to
There's
do. And
so many guys up and down, like you said, Andrew. I mean, really, the entire team. Like when you watch, getting to clip all those videos that I get to clip, that's what you see is the guy who sets the screen, the guy who makes sure he sprints off, the guy, yeah, those little plays, and like you said, Andrew Davey is one of those guys that you can always, yeah, he's either the first guy off the field if he needs to be, or he's setting that transition pick, or he's setting the pick, or just getting in the way so the other team's offense can't run off. Just that smart play, like it's those little nuanced kind of moves.
yeah, he's definitely in step with the game, right? Like he's in tune with it for sure. And like the more
I can't wait.
time-
I can't wait till he gets into our style, Tony. Not Neil played his style, PBL played their style, whatever. But now when he's got this, another full season with the competition that he was playing against,
right.
and now he's going to bring that knowledge and stuff that he learned from those people and different players, and
that goes for all the boys, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's
yeah,
huge.
no, it's year 3. I'm ready to fucking go all the way. Like anything less is it's all right. Whatever. We were together. We can be any place in the world, but if we're all together, it's even better. So like that commitment to each other, man. I think this is the year. So we pick up some people, we drop some people, dead weight. I'm good with that, for real. So, and I was good with that last year, right? So, but
Yeah, it's
anyway.
it's all about, like you said, moving forward, and you look at it and like everybody's kind of been part of this team as when was like best for the team and the organization almost, because you had all those guys the first year. You were able to basically give a crash course to a bunch of young field players to get them the more experience. Then you guys lost a little bit of the experience, and you kind of had to have some guys step up, and you really, obviously saw some of your young players step up, and now who's going to be the guys that step up this year?
Here's the deal, right? We we had the blueprint, put it down, and built the foundation, and the walls are up. Shit, man, like it's gonna be a castle when it's done, and it's gonna be here for a long time.
Amen.
That's all we can do is, and then like the guys that believe in the program, believe in the house that we built that we're willing to protect. Those are the guys that that are going to be the core for this team, whether it's this year, next year, the year after. But to buy in, like, can't be a salesman if nobody's buying. Like, you got to sell. And shit, man, we're here, man. Like, we're in the heart of Lacrosse land. Utica is the Nexus Center. It's going to be the hub. We could all see this, So it's really, like Johnny said, it's really exciting to see who's going to come out of the program and who's going to stay. But man, we're coming for the number 1 spot. Anything less, it's all right. We're together, but I'm not happy about it, right? So
Yeah, I mean, I can say just from my perspective, no matter what the outcome is, I tell you, the way for me getting to watch those guys grow and to find out at the end of last year that like it was Blaine's first year, Mario's first year, like not Blaine's first year because it was his second year, but his first year having to step up and fill that role and to kind of see the position, he was able to step up in, and to see the transition guys when they know to fly up. And it always seems like, Snow or Risachi, when you see them flying up the floor, it's like they know that you need that motivation, Leo to come up at the right time. And he's another one of those guys that I couldn't believe it was his first year.
Right.
And this is why this is my favorite time of the season right now. Like coming into tryouts, coming into the first couple weeks of this year. This is where my heart gets racing. I get back the flutters of being back into young gun playing lacrosse, be back at practice, but getting to see how these guys that we're talking about now, Blaine and how are they going to transition into this year? What kind of player, what are they going to bring from them last year? Are they going to better themselves? Are they going to sit back and be happy with what they've accomplished last year and think that, they found their niche and that's the train they're going to ride, or do they want to be, next step players?
I think as long as they're willing to learn, because last year was last year, and like you make adjustments every year. You can't show all your cards, right? So they have to be willing and able to keep an open mind about learning new stuff, right? Otherwise, everybody's got the read on you. So as long as they're willing to do that, then they're going to be fine, because then the younger players are going to watch them and be like, oh yeah, they bought in. So yeah, it's going to be cool. I'm excited too. I always get so fired up.
I know. It's like it's almost time, man. Yeti season is almost here.
It's so bad. You just sit there and
It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's like Christmas. I can't wait for the. I tell you, the battle on the barge is just going to be such a. Last year it was a bit of a crash course into trying to learn how to do this, and we took our bumps and bruises, licked our wounds.
We learned.
We learned. That's right. We learned. We learned.
That's what we did. We learned.
Yeah,
it's very same concept, Beecher. The teamwork. Well, look what you're building. You've put together a great team on very different aspects, and you got a great thing going. And I'm pretty proud to be part of what Blue Squatch has got going on, man.
Yeah,
it's awesome
fuck yeah,
stuff.
Beach.
Well, thank you guys very much. Fucking love it. And everybody knows that at least every week or every other week, we will have Coach Johnny or Coach Tony on during the Yeti season, I'm sure, to keep us up to date with some games and infos. But we are now getting eerily close to my bedtime, folks. I need to.
Man. Shit.
I need to go.
Past mine.
Yes.
Past it.
Way past it. Thank you so much for taking the time, everybody. I really appreciate you guys joining us. And Paul, as always, thanks for all that you do. Remember, without Mr. Paul Necker, there would be no Utica Yeti right now.
Yeah.
So. Hats off, Paul.
This is why we do it, boys. This is why we do it, and I thank you for everything that you guys do. All of our sponsors. We're getting ready to fire up our 2023 campaign for sponsorship. We've got some great sponsors already. Bag Square behind me, B Dry System, Family Landscaping. We thank you guys for your consistent sponsorship. Clinton Tractor. As far as what everybody has done sponsorship, I thank you so much. We're going to be knocking on the door here. Big season. We got a lot of big things going on. You guys are seeing it on TV. Blue Squatch is rocking it. And now we have 12 months a year. Before we had 2 months to try and get a year of sponsorship in. Well, now we got 12 months a year, 4 days a month. Gotta love it. Thank you, Squatch. Blue Squatch rock.